Welcome, and this time we're going to do some Hell Let Loose parkour. For the regular viewers I might sound a bit different, and that's because I just upgraded to a better quality microphone. I had to redo all my settings and so on. Now in this guide, or video if you want to call it, I will go over some common tricks you can apply to get on some buildings or objects that otherwise seem out of reach or inaccessible. I will not show you every spot because that's way too much for this video, but I will explain the basic mechanics behind it and how you can pull it off. This way you can apply it to your own gameplay and find new spots for yourself. If you watched my video about playing defense center in competitive Hell Let Loose, where I make use of some of these spots whilst playing the MG class. If you want to get a general idea of how to apply it or how you can play it out during your game, go check out that video. The most common and well-known trick is the prone jump. The way it works is pretty straightforward. First you do a regular jump, and once you reach the highest point in your jump, you press your default prone button, in my case the Z button. By pressing prone at the highest point of your jump, it will bump you on the edge of a roof or a solid object and give you that extra little nudge to get on the object or building. It does require some practice to get the timing right, and once you get the hang of it, you will find out it's quite easy to pull it off. Now over to some spots and objects where you can apply this and use this. Now for this I won't give all the spots away on the silver platter. The trick with this is finding it out yourself. Which building does it work on and which one it doesn't. I will go over some of the more common spots to give you an idea. Hoppers are well spread across every map. You got them on Utah Beach, SME and so on. Hoppers are usually good places to get onto. They usually give you a good vantage point and good cover, since you can get inside them. And for MG players they're especially popular because you can also deploy an MG on the edge of the hopper whilst maintaining cover and keeping a low profile. There are several ways to get onto hoppers. You can either access them from either using nearby objects such as walls or using the dirt mount on the ground. For instance, this one is inside the point on WN7 Utah Beach. For this one you can vault onto the wall and stand on the wall. Move a bit forward until you're standing on top of the elevated bit of the wall, and in a straight line with the beam of the hopper. From there you just jump and prone at the right time to get onto the beam of the hopper. Once you're on the beam of the hopper, go forward and stand on the part of the beam that is sticking out a bit away from the hopper. If you try to jump onto the hopper while standing on the beam that is closest to the hopper, you will just slam your face into the side of the hopper and fall off. Once you're on this beam section that is sticking out a bit, just look upwards and vault. The key thing here is in this last part is looking up. For some reason, or some odd reason, it gives you that extra nudge to grab the vaulting point onto the hopper. It is either by giving you the view of the vaulting point or it actually makes you jump a bit higher. I'm not entirely sure why it works this way. It can be either by giving you the view of the vaulting point or it makes you actually jump a bit higher. Not entirely sure, but hey, it works this way. And now, if you don't have any objects around you, you can get on the hopper by doing it the hard way. Now, bear in mind, you will need to practice this one a bit to get it just right and do it right every time. What we'll want to do here is align ourselves with the shovel next to the dirt mount. From here, you will want to sprint and aim for the cross section of the beams. And the second we hit the highest point of the dirt mount, which you can see by your point of view going up ever so slightly, that's the point you will want to jump and then hold prone and jump. Also with this one, practice it a bit to get the timing right. Do not be deterred if you don't get it right in 1 or 2 goes. This is one of the harder ones to pull off and master. This is another one from my previous guide, namely the MG guide, so if you have seen this one, you probably know this one already, but I'll go over it again to show you in detail how it is done. At checkpoint on St. Mary-Glees, you have a good building to the side inside the hard cap where you can get on. This again will give you a good vantage point to either clear out the point or to set up shop with the MG. For this one you will want to jump onto the wall and sprint towards the edge of the roof and press jump and prone at the right timing. This will get us onto the smaller roof, and to be fair, this is already a good vantage point, or it gives you a better angle where players don't expect you. But you can even get a better vantage point by going on the bigger house and the roof next to it. To do this, we're almost doing exactly the same again. Sprint towards the edge of the roof and at the right timing press jump. For this one there's no need to prone jump and you can get up on it straight away. Once you're up on the big roof you can easily clear out a point or set up your MG here. However, do keep a close eye on the window opposite of you since players like to hide there. Not every building requires you to do a prone jump, some are easily accessible by making creative use of the objects around you. For instance, another one of Utah Beach, close to Chapel. And this is also the one I used in my Defense Center gameplay video. At the start of the game I highly recommend not using this one, because it's in a volatile place with enemy players pushing in close to you. The building we are after is the building close to the crossroads next to Chapel. So you want to bolt up the stairs all the way to the top floor. From there, jump over the gap to get across and then take a step back from the roofing and keep pressing your jump button to get on the edge of the roof. Make sure you take a step back, because else this will result you in either not getting on the roof section or falling down from a 3-story building. All in all, it's about making creative use of this mechanic, because this is another decent one that I recently found on the fly by just trying to get onto it during a competitive match. Inside the point on Hill 5, again, Utah Beach, next to the center bunker and camo nets, you can squeeze yourself between the barbed wire and the net. There's a small passage where you can sprint in between and do a prone jump onto the netting. This will give you access to the roof of the center bunker, but the camo netting next to it is even actually a better place to set up your MG. There's a slight dip in the netting which allows for a lower profile when you are deployed. As I mentioned, you don't always have to do these weird jump tricks. Sometimes it's just about getting the angle just right. If you look inside Hospice, inside the hard cap, in the side you can run up along a wall towards a small garage building. By simply just pressing and holding spacebar you can jump on the lamp that is sticking out to easily get access to the roof of a small garage building. This again gives you good elevation and a good vantage point to shoot from. Now there are different ways and techniques to get on all kinds of different buildings, and what I've showed you in this video are just some basic techniques and more of the common places where players will jump on to get an advantage. You can even get more creative because there are a few places where you can get on the roof of buildings by using either Belgian gates or even jumping around the corner to get access to the next area where you can climb even higher. Some will say this isn't exactly the way how the game is supposed to be played, and yes, I do agree with you to a certain degree, but there's still the fact you can actually do it and it will give you a great advantage until it's fixed. Remember, when it comes down to map design and buildings, they are reusing a lot of the same buildings on different maps. So once you know the tricks and what angles to take, you will learn to recognize the different obstacles or buildings on which you can jump on. Let me know by leaving a comment how these tricks work out for you guys. As always, have a good day and I'll see you in the next one.